Hey, Oblither checking in. Now, normally the videos I post involve just me and some friends screwing around in random games, but today I wanted to go back to Full Throttle and have a bit of a discussion on the current state of this game. So without further ado, let's get going. Now, Full Throttle was quite popular upon release, but nowadays it seems otherwise. The player count has dropped quite a bit since 2018, and that seems to have also led to a shrinking of server size. Back then, the max amount of players per server was 16, now it's just 12. Why did this happen? Well, it probably has something to do with the lack of content updates. The last content update for Full Throttle came in early August of 2019. It added the Lamborghini Sesto Elemento, which we know by now is the fastest and most expensive car in Full Throttle to date. It costs 10 million in-game cash and is overall a pretty decent car, despite a few, well, bugs. The $10 million Lamborghini Sesto Elemento featured extremely good stats and was classified as a special car. Despite the developer promising to add more special cars in the future, they never really came, as development of the game kinda halted. Following release of the Sesto, we got the Drift Points update, and it was pretty much the last noticeable update for FT. It added this little box above your car, and it gave a small XP bonus to people who could get their cars to slide. Of course, the XP rewards were too small to make that big of an impact, and XP in general in FT isn't very useful, as you only unlock like 3 cars using levels. The rest you can just buy at any time. Later on, in late 2019, there were rumors of a new map being added to Full Throttle. Now, this was met with some pretty positive responses from the player base, and of course, it wasn't just baseless rumors, as we did get a map leak. Actually, we got 2 map leaks. You can notice several tunnels leading out of the map on this picture, so I assume that would have connected to this dark tunnel you find to the north of the current map in Full Throttle. However, this new map never actually arrived because this message was posted by the developer. In it, he says that he was working on a new game and thus he was no longer focused on FT. That pretty much meant we shouldn't expect any more updates, and in terms of development, Full Throttle was very much dead. Which is kind of sad because they had a lot planned for this game. In fact, a moderator once leaked a car list which showed over 100 cars they wanted to add to this game. The validity of this car list was further confirmed when the developer himself said that he had such a list, but he also confirmed that he was working on a new game and that updates to FT would be less frequent. Now at this point, I don't think anyone would blame you if you were to assume that Full Throttle had finally died off and it wouldn't get any more updates. However, recently something has happened. On the Full Throttle development server, a car poll was posted. The poll contained so many cars that I actually considered not completing it all in one sitting. It had a total of 120 cars, all of which were currently not in-game. This was followed by a picture and a message saying there might be a second Full Throttle. In addition to that, the game received updates in the form of bug fixes. The devs rapidly responded and patched the fair play bug shown in one of my previous videos, and it seems like despite not receiving any content updates, the game still receives support and someone is still working on at least keeping it in a running state. So let's recap. Development of the game is no longer a priority, but the game still receives support and bugs are rapidly fixed. So in a way, the game is still alive. And the community too. The community is very much alive. In fact, I mentioned my Horizon Chasers group before, but recently it seems that more groups have been popping up around Full Throttle. For example, Pink Lightning, a group more focused on electric cars. There is also Team Carbon, a racing team which I couldn't really get a group photo of, but they do have a video on YouTube. The video introduces you to their team members and their team principals. Of course, what you're seeing right now is just a bunch of cuts I've made, and the full video will probably be linked in the description, because honestly I think it was pretty good. Now there may be even more teams out there that I don't know of, maybe even dozens. But anyway, back to the game itself. It's got an active player base, it's got active support. I'd say Full Throttle is far from dead. In fact, given the recent activity on their Discord channel, I think Full Throttle might actually be making a comeback. We might be getting a sequel to the game, or maybe we'll just be getting content updates. But let's not get our hopes too high yet. Nothing's been confirmed, though I do wish we get something soon. Well, that'll be all for now, and I'll see you all later.